Good day everyone. So if you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you might be wondering, well, why does your artifacts in your account suck so much? Some of you that are perhaps like in the speedrunning community might even be saying, look, we've got F2P teams that are even much faster than your C6R5 units. So what gives? Well, in my sort of defense, I generally don't put effort into artifacts whatsoever, and there's a couple of reasons for it. So one, I think it's pointless to resin refresh on artifacts because you're just wasting primo gems for a non-guarantee. And the second thing is we don't have artifact loadouts in this game, so for me to truly remember what each character had and then to switch back and forth for, let's say, just clearing out the spiral abyss very, very quickly, it's just so much of a hassle to a point that I'm not really going to bother with it. The other thing that I also find interesting is that I like having my characters almost built in a general sense. So basically, if you guys remember, I used to do like Ayaka solo no damage runs, and the whole point of these solo no damage runs was to see, well, can we do this without taking damage, and how good are we at managing our energy? And one of the requirements for a solo no damage run is the fact that you need to have about 150, at least 150 energy recharge on your Ayaka. So there's quite a lot of things that you are sort of sacrificing when doing so. But the cool thing about building Ayaka in that manner is that I had an Ayaka that was almost like a very good generalist Ayaka. So when she attacked the enemies, she could deal out a great amount of cryo and physical damage depending on the situation, and that was like always very appealing to me. So, and you'll find this hard to believe, but in about a year's time, I've not even changed Ayaka's artifacts and so on, and that's my philosophy with most of my characters. I sort of like building a certain artifact set or a character and then sort of generally sticking to it. So, and obviously this has got a couple of advantages for me. So A, when I do find a better artifact, I know like how to compare the numbers because I always play with my characters. I'm always like aware as to what their potentials are and like whether a new artifact will actually really bring me some benefit. And you might be saying, well, just use the Genshin Optimize or some other equivalent software, and then I say, well, it's just again too much of a hassle, and even if I do use it and I do get a better build, it might sort of detract from an artifact set that another character might use. So generally I just find it's more trouble than it's worth. And yeah, for me as well, the whole speed running thing, or the thing just to get my artifacts just so that I can brag about speed running, is kind of pointless. I just don't find it to be that fun at all. And not that I'm saying that there's anything wrong in hyper optimizing for builds and stuff. I do think that for people that do buy into it, it can be extremely rewarding, but it is a very time consuming process. And obviously for someone like myself, I'd much rather just play the Spiral Abyss, get the footage out there, get it out there, because I'm also like someone that works full time and so on. And for me to just put in hours and effort into artifacts and min-maxing, it's just not worth it. I think at that point then Genshin becomes a true chore in my eyes. So yeah, that is why you'll never really see me hitting like Tony Toe levels of fanciness or like this super fast like clearing times, because honestly I've never designed my account to do so. So my account will always be on the mediocre or perhaps like even sub average side of things. But I'm happy that way. I mean, I've always enjoyed like what I do and so on. But yeah, in case you're wondering why we're playing Ryder National in the background, I actually had another video that I wanted to make, but at the end of it, I just had leftover footage, so, and I was kind of bored, so I just want to sort of see how this team does, and yeah, that's kind of how they do. Thanks for watching, cheers!